Another possibility to retain the rainwater on your land and on the same time gain more land for agriculture or whatever you want to have are called terraces. You know this, and it's totally not a new system to be invented, but very, very often done in all cultivated areas where you have slopes. So a terrace is even more effective than a swale because you gain land on especially steeper slopes to cultivate or to do whatever you want to do, even to reforest also. But they are also a bit more complex to build because you have to move more earth. Usually you use a bulldozer for this, and with him it is still quite fast. But then you have at least 2–2.5 meters of width. And of course you can build, if it's not too steep, much larger terraces. And if it's really steep, you might use other tools or machines to build smaller terraces. You may build terraces in different ways. If you have the slope, you can put the terrace almost in the slope or almost in level. This has the advantage that the effort and the amount of soil you have to move is quite few. And the step between two terraces, if you build some more one after the other, is quite small. But you might have rainwater runoff with heavy rains, or if you have a terrace which is almost in level, you might even have water standing on the terrace and staying there, which is sometimes also not wanted. So another possibility is you have the slope and you build the terrace in the counter inclination. Of course not that steep, but some 5% or so what you need for rainwater running off. We have a bit of rainwater runoff on heavy rains as long as there is not really good garden soil there. But then on all terraces, on the corner where it is hillside, you do a swale, and especially the ripping with the bulldozer, so that the water which might run down or which comes from the hill would infiltrate there into the soil again, into the aquifer to provide. These counter-inclinated terraces have an advantage to also be able to keep all the rainwater on the land. Even if you have heavy rains, it will build a lake maybe, but the water stays and then infiltrates. But you have quite high steps between the terraces and you have to move quite a lot of earth. So if you have place and necessity of quite large terraces, you also can do a double inclinated. So the first part of the terrace, hillside, is going with the slope, and as the earth is taken there, it will be quite rocky there. So this you can use as a path for your tractor, 2.5 meters, and then the terrace itself, where you might do agriculture or fruit trees or whatever, it is counter slope. And where both meet, you have the swale again and the ditch. So the rain comes, falling on the leaves of the trees you might have or the plants you have there, evaporate from there or sink further down to the soil, infiltrate in the soil, reach the roots, or on a heavy rain maybe, the water might go down to the swale, infiltrate, partly into the deeper aquifers, or again to the roots. So the same rainwater meets the plant at least 3 times, which is quite nice. A bit more effort, but as Marco and Tosca do not avoid effort, now Marco will show you some of the terraces they built here on this property in Monte Cruz.
So, and there we are now, on our fruit terraces. They got built during the time our lake was built. The terraces got created by a big bulldozer, and afterwards he took all the topsoil which came from the lake building and put it on top of the terraces. so it means we had really good soil conditions here, and so we decided we only put fruit trees here. The disadvantage with these terraces is they got built totally in level, and that means that we have still a lot of rainwater runoff, which is not a big problem here because we have our lake just under and all the runoff is going into the lake. But at this point we decided to build another type of terraces, which I will show you now. And there we are on our other type of terraces, which are counter-inclinated. That means the point where I stay right now is the deepest of the terrace, and all the water which hits the terrace flows over to this point and slowly seeps into the ground. There we made only one mistake I want to share with you, and this is that we forgot to open the ground here. This you can do also with a bulldozer with the 1 meter tooth. And because of this mistake, the water infiltrates only slow. But nevertheless, we have no rainwater runoff in the rainy season here.